Hey, welcome back to Out the Smoke. I'm Malcolm Reed. Got my buddy Mark Williams from Swine Life BBQ here hanging out with me. Today, we're testing out one of these salt blocks. I know you guys have seen them before, but it's actually like a slab of salt that's meant to cook food on. It's supposed to give it some salt flavor. It's supposed to make it cook real even, get a good sear on it. Mark, you've been using this one. Tell me a little bit about it.
So I've cooked several steaks, ribeyes, fillets on it. I'm not gonna go into detail because I don't want to be a spoiler alert here, but it does give a good crust. I've cooked it on a few times. I mean, it's something different. It's fun to play with.
So what we're gonna do, we're gonna test it out. We're gonna cook one ribeye steak seasoned with my steak rub. Then we're gonna cook one seasoned with the steak rub on top of a salt block. The steak rub doesn't have just a heavy salt content, so we should be able to tell the difference if that salt block is giving that steak, one, a good sear, two, some saltiness. Right. Is it picking up from cooking on top of it? We know grill grate sear really good. We know cast iron sear is really good. We're gonna see if the salt block will sear and if we pick up some of that flavor. So Mark, what are we gonna do these steaks first?
So we got two ribeyes that are pretty close to being identical. All we're gonna do is add just a little bit of olive oil.
Now, when you've cooked on the salt block, do you need something to go? Can you just put straight meat on it?
You don't have to. A lot of times the fat in the steak will cook out and you'll see it kind of sizzling around the edge. So you don't necessarily have to have olive oil. It does cook a little bit more even, kind of helps you with the crust. Same thing in a cast iron skillet.
Now these ribeyes are marbled up, so I know they got a lot of internal fat. They look really good. They're nice and thick, about 16 ounces each.
So we're just gonna do a light layer of steak and chop. I'm not gonna go too crazy heavy. I would say stay away from like a sugary rub because it will burn on that salt just like it would on a cast iron skillet.
So Mark, we're gonna get the salt block warmed up using one of our pellet grills here at the shop to get it going. But we're gonna actually use the PK Go charcoal grill to sear these steaks.
Right.
We're gonna move the salt block over to the grill, let it get good and hot. Then we're gonna sear the other steak on a Weber that we've already got going, right?
There you go. So let's get them on the grill.
Hey, let's go.
So we put the salt block on the PK Go, shot it with the infrared gun. It was running about 650, 700 degrees, which is plenty hot to sear steak. Got it on there. We flipped it about every minute. You know, I wanted to keep a close eye because again, 700 degrees will burn a steak in a flip of a switch, you know. So we kept a good eye, but it built an awesome crust. That's what I'm dying to try.
The looks right away have me completely wanting to eat this steak. I mean, it's got that cast iron char on the outside, seared all the way. I mean, the grill grates put some pretty marks on it, but I want to eat that steak. Yeah. But what we really got to find out, did it really pick up any salt flavor from being on that block? We know we got a control here, just steak rub, regular steak. Let's see what the salt block did.
Let's cut into it. So I'm gonna have to cut the spinalis. I mean, I'm not, we got to go for the big money stuff.
What temp did you take that one to?
It did carry over just a little bit, but I tried to pull it at about 120, and I mean, that's a good cook.
No, that's what I would call medium rare right there. That's where I would want it. So we got some bites. Now that's cut for me. What are you gonna try? I'm going in. I want to try this one first. This is the salt block steak. Medium rare all the way across. Perfect sear on the outside. That's something that's hard to do. Keep it from getting too gray.
Right.
I think flipping it every minute or so did that to it.
Hold on to it.
So
get away from it.
So at the moment of truth, let's taste it. I'm gonna taste the char side. Not overly salty or anything. It could use a little salt.
It could use some salt. The outer edge got a little bit. That's sear though.
Flavor of the sear is good. The crust on the outside. All right, control steak, my steak. I'm gonna say the same level of saltiness.
Yeah.
I don't get any more, any less from cooking on the salt block. But what I do get is crunch, sear, and crust on that, and I love it. Would I do a salt block again? Heck yeah, because I like the crust on it.
I would too.
That's the big takeaway from this. If you think you're gonna get a lot of salt flavor, it ain't happening.
We need a reverse sear one. Put it on the smoker, get a little smoke, then sear it on the salt.
And get that crust.
That might be something there.
Hey, thank y'all for hanging out with us here at Out the Smoke. If you like what we're doing, subscribe to the channel. You can find Mark over at Swine Life BBQ doing his thing. Of course, I'm at HowtoBBQRight. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us. We'll see you next time.
Have to go back in.
Let's go another bite.
Hang on. We're gonna put some salt.
Yeah, hey, fix this up.